Now we will discuss the classical theory of organizing. This theory is the first or the basic theory on which the organization was formed. According to this theory, the writers have stated, or they used to consider, the organization as a machine, and the human being who are working in those organizations are just the components of that machine. According to the writers, they have stated that the organization's functioning or the input or the output of the organization won't be affected by the external elements of the organization. That means anything might happen in the external environment, but it won't create any problem in the internal functioning of the organization. As because this was the first theory of organizing and a very simple theory, this theory was also known as the machine theory, the structural theory, and the physiological theory of organizing. Now we will see what are the different characteristics of the classical theory. The first characteristic, the classical organization theory is built upon an accounting model. That means what? According to the writers of the classical theory, they used to think, as because there is no impact of the external environment, whatever is coming in, the same will go out. The input and the output won't be affected by the external factors. The second characteristic is it maximizes neatness and control. As because this theory is the basic theory, there was less complications, so all the rules and regulations were very clear cut and there was no complications in the functioning of the organization. The third characteristic, it puts special emphasis in detection of errors and correcting them after they have happened. According to this, the writers of the theory used to think that if any problem has occurred, let the work first get finished. Then they will try to go into the matter and will resolve it so that it don't cause any problem in the upcoming work. So in the work which is happening presently, they never used to stop that due to any impact. They used to think, let the work happen and complete. Accordingly, we will get back to it after the completion of the work. The fourth characteristic, the approach is the personification of extra pair of hands. According to this theory, the writers have considered the human being as homogeneous. In that way, they used to believe that if one person is removed from the system, if a new person join him, will be same as the previous one, and all the human beings are same and they have the same capacity of work. As because the theory is very simple, they do not used to consider any of the characteristics of human being. They used to think all of them are equal. The fifth characteristic is designing the job and picking this extra pair of hands. And human being is relatively homogeneous and unmodifiable. It is the continuation of the previous characteristics. They have stated that all the human beings are same, and if one more person is added into the existing group of people, he will just act as one extra unit of person who will help in getting the work completed in a quicker way. Rather, the concept actually believe in the arithmetic model. If they are just simply dividing the whole work with the number of people without considering that the new person might be more efficient or might be less efficient compared to others. They also used to feel that all the human beings are same and they are relatively unmodifiable. Even if you are giving them any training, they won't be modified. The next characteristic is stability of the employee. In this, they used to think that the organization can remain stable if the employee who is working in the organization will stick to the organization for a longer period of time. So it can be stated that they believe in less changes, or they used to think if less changes are happening within the organization, then the stability can be maintained within the organization. The last characteristic is it is centralized and integrated system. They used to believe that the organization can, if the organization functioning is controlled in a centralized way, then the functioning can be done in a better way. More control can be kept on the resources of the organization, and the work can be done in a proper way. So it can be stated that the classical theory of organizing used to believe in the centralized management system. By that way, they used to feel that the functioning of the organization can be done in a better way.